we are featuring this week on Triple J. Part 2 of Everything Not Saved Will Be Lost. They did promise to have you a collection of songs for this one, and yeah, definitely delivered. Fingers crossed they do return to tour it as well. Of course, they were here a couple of months ago for Splendor, but I reckon so many tracks off this new record, so many crunching guitar moments that just absolutely go off live. So I am praying that they're going to return sometime soon. But anyway, before Falls, spun you some East, Talk Deep, and Circles by Post Malone up the top, who just the other night, get this, he threw 40,000 pounds into a crowd in a Miami club, just like 40,000 pounds worth of bills and stuff. And once that was converted, it's like nearly 70k or something here. It's absolutely insane. Very generous of Posty. But you're with Bridget right now. It is Good Nights on Triple J, 0439757555. And hey, if you like remixes, then hang about, because a whole ton of Hayden James tracks are about to get reworked by so many cool names in music. And also Flume and Vera Blue, they're getting a bit of a French take on their new single. Yeah, we'll see what happens when Take This Squeeze takes on the new Flume and Vera Blue track very soon. But right now, Cry Club, originally from Wollongong, now based in Melbourne. You can find them at the Unearthed website. It's their latest track called Robert Smith on Triple J.
Good Nights with Bridget on Triple J.
Hey, this is Cameron from Werribee. I'd like to hear the new one from Cup Sport, I've Never Cried So Much. I guess Party Pill is currently my favourite song of the year, and I love how it feels like this song almost resolves the tension that they built up in Party Pill, and I just love hearing it. Thanks, Bridget.
on Triple J. We kicked off with Cry Club, Robert Smith, Cub Sport featuring Darren Hayes going out to Cameron in Werribee. He reckons I never cried so much in my whole life is the perfect follow-up to Party Pill. And right there, rushing back, it is Flume and Vera Blue. Last week, I was telling you how Vera Blue shared an Instagram video. It was like a performance, really gorgeous stripped back version of the song. And today, we actually got another rework, but it's coming from Petite Biscuit. Yeah, the French producer just adding his special touch. It's kind of like that signature dream banger vibe to the song. So go give that a listen if you're a fan. And more remixes incoming. So Hayden James, he's just announced that he's sharing a very special remix EP of tracks from his debut album Between Us. So he's recruited, some really cool names like Cassian and Dog Dollar, Set Mo, Afea out of Argentina, and a few more, all putting their own unique take on some of the songs that is off Hayden James' debut record. So that's dropping tomorrow. Pretty good Friday vibe. But we got to stay focused on tonight. I've got a brand new guest selector for you to meet soon, Michael. He's very keen to tell you about the fresh tunes that he's got on repeat at the moment. First, it is the latest from Sahara Beck called Queen of Hearts on Triple J.
If the sky can take the rain, maybe I can take the pain that comes with loving you. With loving you. Like the mountains touch the sky, you touch me and I am high from loving you. From loving you. Did you see me lose my heart? Did you see
you doing, man?
This is Triple J.
Victim is 76. 89. Abduction equals 89. Abduction. Abduction victim Jacob Wetling. Abduction victim Yiming Yuan. Demons. Abduct people, demons torture people. 22. It was the 22nd. Steamboat. It erupted on the 22nd. 6 days, 9 hours, and 25 minutes. 5 5s are 25. It's 25 degrees. 6 days, 9 hours, 25 minutes. Freaky. Twin is 66. There was an interval, 6 days, 6 hours, and 31 minutes. Twin is 66. Five 5s are 25. This place is kind of famous. Or infamous, maybe? They call it the haunted house. It's a bird just out the window, Matt. Like a little angel. Nothing scarier than religious conservatives who become torturers. There's nothing scarier than that, because they have no compassion. Abduction. Abduction by authorities is the scariest kind of abduction, because what if they don't kill you? What if they just keep you captive and torture you? Well, it makes no difference if it's some crazy psychopath out in the middle of nowhere. If they keep you alive, it could be even worse. But the problem when it's the authorities is there's no chance of being rescued. There's no hope. Jake's favourite word is hope. What happens when there's no hope? Abduction with no hope. The caning is scary and I don't want it. The caning is scary and I don't want it. Jake was shot. Yiming Yuan was caned. So whose abductor was the more sadistic? The twin caners? Or the guy with the gun? Who's the more sadistic abductor? The religious conservatives or the religious conservative? Because Jake's abductor was a Christian, you know. He had a Bible in his house. He had a prayer book. He'd underlined his favourite passages in the prayer book and in the Bible. He'd ripped out a page. He'd asked God for forgiveness. I saw the letter the other day that Ivan Milat wrote to the authorities. They published it. And he mentioned the Lord. The Lord. Our good Lord. He was raised a Catholic. Then he became atheist after his sister died in a car crash. So he decided there was no God, but he held on to his conservatism. Because I heard him talking about his opinions on politics. He had very conservative views on pretty much everything, especially refugees, as you can imagine.
He's such an incredible performer, and yeah, bringing that energy to the stage at the set. If you want to recap on any of those episodes, they are online at ABC iView. And yeah, we'll hear from Michael again a little bit later on. If you want to share your favourite songs, I'm all ears too. 0439 757 555. You can sign up to be a guest selector as well, just like Michael, over at the Triple J website. But we got to keep it moving here on Good Night. I've got so much on the way. The brand new single from DMAs, their first release since last year's record For Now, premiered with Ben and Lean this morning. So keen to hear what you think of it and whether or not it is a strong return for the band. So let's find out really soon. I'm Bridget Hustwaite, and right now from Skrillex, Boys Noise and Ty Dolla $ign, it's Midnight Hour.
I did my best, wasn't good for you. I was the best for both of you.
Hey, Tim and Marty.
So,
Wow!
weekdays from 9, we go back to school for an hour with a high school hit blitz.
I know, yeah, I already know that there ain't no stopping. So hands, like sweat dripping down my dirty laundry. No chance that I'm leaving here without you on me. I know, yeah, I already know that there ain't no stopping your plans and those slow hands. Your slow hands. Ooh, slow hands.
You're listening to Kennedy Malloy. We are talking to Robert Whittaker, who's on the eve of his up-close and personal tour. It'll be a fascinating chat about his life to date. We've got the dates. We're going to put the dates on our website, but the QPAC in Brisbane will be a great gig. Star, Gold Coast, awesome. Civic Theatre, Newcastle. These are all good theatres, by the way. If you live in these local areas, get out there and say hello. West Point Casino, Palms at Crown, Debenton Theatre Adelaide, the Enmore Sydney, and on. We'll post all those dates. You mentioned your battles with mental health, and this is something that particularly is of interest to our audience, who are younger, largely male. What advice do you give people out there who you think are maybe struggling with this?
Honestly, like if you're not into sports, like try to get into some form of sports, you know, and find one.
And why is that? Do you think there's a nexus between physical and mental health?
There is a scientific attachment to those two things. So, like your mental health, your mental health is directly affected by your physical health, and vice versa. But I think moving and exercising, it chemically helps you balance. It produces like very positive chemicals that help you just make things better. Yeah.
What was the motivation for you? Did you speak with someone? Did something finally happen in your life where you thought, I've really got to just and you know, it takes a lot of guts to reach out for help?
Well, the thing is, like, and me personally, I've only identified this maybe in the last year. It's something that like I've always had that I kind of just rid off as who I am, and until like people around me, people that I've surrounded myself with say, hold on, why do you keep falling off the rail at these times? And then I had to look back, and then you start identifying the symptoms, and then you're like, wow, this happens to everybody.
So up close and personal, it's your journey through life. It's, as we said, it starts from a fairly low base. But I tell you what, you've done a great job, and you've really stuck at it. And you might have been kicking into a fair breeze, but you've got a beautiful wife and 3 beautiful kids. You're a champion of your sport, and you're out there now on the road helping other people. It's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
You should be very proud of yourself.
And also, you I don't know. I know that you're fighting, but you got a very pretty face. And how come your teeth are so perfect?
She never says this to me. She's never said this to me once. I wear them every day.
My teeth aren't perfect, actually. Look at this.
Really? Oh no, but I can't see that. They're in good nick from this angle. Don't give it away, mate.
Hey, what do you do? What's the plans, UFC-wise? So you're gonna take your time? You're gonna get straight back in there? What's the plan?
I just jumped back into the gym as soon as I could. You know, the last fight, you know, disappointing as it was, I'm very excited. I'm excited for the next chapter.
Fantastic.
I'm hungrier than ever. This weekend I'm competing at Pampax down here in Melbourne, so I'm super pumped to jump into that.
Yeah.
And probably looking February, March next year to try and get back in there and get to work.
We'll be rooting for you. I'll tell you what.
I'll see you down the gym.
I'll see you on the mats tomorrow.
I'll see you on the mats. Bring your A game, Whittaker. Hey, thanks for swinging by.
Yeah.
Where are the dates?
You can see all of the dates for Triple M Presents Up and Close Personal Tour with Robert Whittaker at www.robertwhitaker, that's 2ts.co/events.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for swinging by.
Thank you so much for having me.
Kennedy Malloy are back soon. Wherever you are right now, bush, sand or city streets, bring it on with the Holden Colorado. Now with 7 years free scheduled servicing across the 4x4 range, so you're free to take on anything. Visit Holden.com for more details.
Hey, it's Dave Gleason from the Screaming Jets. How good is Oztober? I'm helping out with this rockin' 31 days of Aussie music. So join me for lunch with some of our homegrown best. The music that made this country great.
But I'll always hear.
And the stories behind those tunes. The Oztober lunch. Midday tomorrow. Mix 106.3.
In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I feel myself out of the deep end. Watch as I dive in, I'll never leave the ground. Crystal surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow
To get your favourite song on the countdown, head to snowfm.com.au. Kuma Better Home Living, your local authorised Apple dealer.
29.
You are somebody that I don't know, but you're taking shots at me like it's Patron, and I'm just like, damn. It's 7 a.m. Say it in the street, that's a knockout, but you say it in a tweet, street, that's a cop out. And I'm just like, hey, are you okay? And I ain't trying to mess with your self-expression, but I've learned a lesson that stressing and obsessing about somebody else is no fun. And snakes and stones never broke my bones, so you need to calm down. You're being too loud. And it's like, you need to just stop. So can you just not step on my gown? You need to calm down. You are somebody that we don't know, but you're coming at my friends like a missile. Are you mad when you could be glad? Could be glad. Sunshine on the street at the parade, but you would rather be in the dark age. Just taking that fine, but they're taking all night. You just need to take several seats and then try to restore the peace and control your urges to scream about all the people you hate. 'Cause shade never made anybody less gay, so you need to calm down. Being too loud. And it's like, you need to just stop. So can you just not step on his gown? You need to calm down. Let me see you over there on the internet, comparing all the girls who are killing it. But we figured you out. We all know now. We all got crowns. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. You're being too loud. Being too loud. And it's like, you need to just stop. Can you stop? So can you just not step on my gown? You need to calm down.
Coomer Better Home Living, your local authorised Apple dealer. Snow FM, The Pulse.
Number 28.
When I'm out with you, do the wheels fall off? Do we running out of road? When I'm dance with you, do the music stop? Do we got no place to go? Everybody needs a place to hide. This don't have to be a bumpy ride. I think we should be alone tonight. 'Cause we don't have to be lonely. Everybody needs some company. Let's talk about it over one more drink. I think you should be alone with me. 'Cause we don't have to be lonely. We don't have to be Wanna ride with you till the world stands still, like there's no one else but us. Wanna dance with you till we can't stand up, till we both give it to love. Everybody needs a place to hide. This don't have to be a bumpy ride. I think we should be alone tonight. 'Cause we don't have to be lonely. Everybody needs some company. Let's talk about it over one more drink. I think you should be alone with me. 'Cause we don't have to be lonely. We don't have to be lonely.
song on the countdown, head to snowfm.com.au. The Pulse. Coomer Better Home Living, your local authorised Apple dealer.
27.
Fell in love, we used to hold hands, man, that was enough. Then we grew up, started to touch, used to kiss underneath the light on the back of the bus. I know your daddy didn't like me much, and he didn't believe me when I said you were the one. Every day, she found a way out of the window to sneak out late. She used to meet me on the side in the city with the sun on set. And every day, you know that we ride through the back streets of a blue Corvette. Baby, you know I just wanna leave tonight. We can go anywhere we want. Drive down to the coast, jump in the sea. Just take my hand and come with me, yeah. We can do anything if you put a mind to it. Take your whole life and you put the line through it. My love is yours if you're willing to take it. Give me a heart, cause I'm gonna break it. So come away, start today. Starting to life together in a different place. We know that love is how all these ideas came to be. So baby, run away with me.
17, we got a dream to have a family, a house and everything in between. And then suddenly, we turned 23 and now we got pressure for taking our life more seriously. We got a dead end jobs and got bills to pay. Our old friends and our enemies. And I'm thinking back to when I was young, back to the day when I was falling in love. He used to meet me on the east side, in the city where the sun was set. And every day, you know where we ride through the back streets in a blue Corvette. And baby, you know I just wanna leave tonight. We can go anywhere we want. Drive down to the coast, jump in the sea. Just take my hand and come with me. Singing, we can do anything if we put a mind to it. Take your whole life when you put a line to it. My love is yours if you're willing to take it. Give me a heart, cause I ain't gonna break it. So come away, starting to date, starting to life together in a different place. Know that love is how all these ideas came to be. So baby, run away.
Victim. 76 is Victim. And Captive is 76. Captive, Victim. Jake, Victim, Abduction Victim. From 1989. And Yiming Yuan. See, it's not called jail when you've been tortured, not in the angelic realm. They don't call it jail when the victim has been tortured, the captive has been tortured. He's an abductee. He's a kidnapped victim. Jake's remains are now in a cemetery. There's a memorial plaque. Finally, Jake's case was solved in 2016. After 27 years. The name Jake has a value of 27. I came here on Halloween. Maybe it was just before Halloween. It was just after I found Red Rain. Was it after I found Red Rain or before? It was before. It was before I found Red Rain. The novel by R.L. Stein. That was on Halloween. Saturday, 31st of October, 2019. Halloween was on a Saturday in 2015. A mum and her baby. No mother should have to suffer the loss of a child. Nor should any father. Not to a killer, and not to a sadistic, cruel government or judiciary or court system comprised of demons. Demons posing as authorities, as they do in Singapore. A justice system that's been taken over by demons, sadists, who get their kicks out of torturing people. Yiming Yuan is a victim. He's a captive. He's an abductee. He's a kidnapped victim. He's like Jake, except he's worse off than Jake, because Jake was able to move on. Yiming Yuan is trapped in the company. You wouldn't call it company though, would you? Trapped in the clutches, the captivity of the people who tortured him. The sadists. They're criminals. They're worse criminals than Yiming Yuan. Yiming Yuan was a drug addict. They've demonized him, stigmatized him, labeled him as a drug trafficker. And with that label comes the right to torture him by caning him with absolute extreme severity. Horrifying, painful, agonizing. If there's a word for pain that's worse than excruciating, then that's what it is. And that was a guy who received 6 strokes of the cane in Singapore, the judicial cane. Hey cutie. Did you hear a voice, buddy? Kangaroos. I came here at night once, alone, in the middle of the night without a torch. I had concussion. And my friends at the time had done something that kind of threw me into a dark state. Darker than I already was. And I slept here, in the middle of the cemetery. And that was after I got the crap scared out of me by kangaroos in the dark, because I didn't know what they were. People say, you must be crazy, man. You must be crazy to sleep in a cemetery in the middle of the night. Well, yeah, I was crazy. I wouldn't do it now. But I went through a lot after I came out gay. Some people were darn cruel. The things they said to me. Nasty as hell. Prejudiced as hell. And you know what? If I was in Singapore, if I was caught doing something gay, I'd be subject to being punished with 6 strokes of the cane. Now I'm not your average guy. I actually don't mind a good caning. I've been caned by men and women. Didn't bother me. It did, but it didn't. I think the Singapore cane would bother me a lot, because I read about what they do, and it sounds to me like it's brutal. So extreme, it scars you for life. Each stroke leaves a mark that lasts for the rest of your life. A line across your ass that lasts for the rest of your life on this earth. Wherever you're in your physical body, you're going to have a permanent reminder of that stroke of the cane that you received at the hands of the authorities. He broke the law. Now he must bear the consequences of his actions. The words of the authorities in Singapore. I never understood rehabilitation. Now I just deliver justice. The words of a high-ranking official of the Singaporean government. Westerners go to Singapore and spend money, have a good time, oblivious to the torture that's handed out there, dished out to people that have no experience of being caned, whose bum cheeks have no experience of such violence. And you know, that makes a big difference. If you're used to something, you can bear it a lot more easily than if you're not used to something. It's like your hands. If you're someone who's out doing manual labor, digging holes with picks, shovels, crowbars, and you do it for a living, well, you can do it for hours. You can go for hours. Your hands can take it because they're calloused and they're toughened. But someone that's not used to it, their hands are going to blister and bleed, and the agony is going to be unbelievable, and they're not going to be able to keep going. Now, even someone who's been caned a lot, someone who's a bit crazy, a masochist, who's been caned and spanked and paddled, whipped and belted a lot because it's something they like, because they're a bit crazy. Even they aren't going to put their hand up for the Singapore cane, because even they are going to be scarred. Even they are going to be bleeding. So it gives you an idea what a normal person with a normal, sensitive, soft bum is going to go through when they get caned in Singapore. The agony they're going to feel. If there's a word for pain worse than excruciating, that's what it is. And he got 6 strokes. Yiming Yuan was sentenced to 24 strokes, on top of 20 years jail.